friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me.
We are waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming again with another edition of Motivational Monday. Woo! Thank you, Vaniqua. I see you already on here waiting on the motivational teacher. Good afternoon. And I am excited about tonight as well. If you would, y'all know the saying, if they don't grow with you, they can't go with you. So if you would, go ahead and tag 4 or 5 people into this video and let them know they need to join us here live. And for all my replayers, please give me about 45 seconds to a minute as I share this out to my group of friends that I want to grow and go with me also. As you come into the room, man, holler at your boy and let me know who's out there. I'm starting to see the eyes already popping in here, man. Holler at your boy and let me know who's out there. I really appreciate you all stopping in on a Monday night, spending a little time with the motivational teacher and a group of people that are waging war on mediocrity. I like to call it the Camel Nation. The Camel Nation. Anything worth having in life is going to come with a fight. Man, I broke bread already early this afternoon. I'm going to say that one more time. Anything worth having in your life is going to come. It has a price tag attached to it. And it's up to us to determine if we're willing to pay that price tag, man. And if you all who see this video, I'm tagging you in it, is because I want you to go with me. I don't want you sitting behind. I don't want you wondering how the motivational teacher got there. I don't want you to wondering why I am where I am, because we all can get that together, man. But it's going to require that some sacrifice. It's going to require tonight. I'm talking about a steady drip, and I can't wait to get into this conversation. Y'all give me 45 more seconds as I share this out to my top 5. Hey, please go ahead and tag your top 5 in there also. All right, let me send that. All right, and then I got 2 different threads going on tonight too. So let me get to my other thread so I can make sure I capture everybody's comments. All right, let's get to it. Episode 160 of Awaken Your I Am. Woo! Man, when I start, I've been on this whole thought process now for almost 2 years, man. Can you believe it? Episode 160 of Awaken Your I Am. Man, time flies. And I can tell you something else. When you have an intentional growth and development plan, you're excited about, you have a zeal or a zest or an excitement for life, because you know that life is not, my life and your life is not a set of circumstances. We understand that our life is a process of decisions that we're making. I'm going to break bread on that tonight. Episode 160, Awaken Your I Am. Tonight, for a brief moment, I want to talk about one thought, a steady drip. Oh my God, this is going to be a bread-breaking moment. If your cousin and them are not on here, y'all better tell them to hop on here. I don't know what's going on Facebook. Facebook is a little late tonight. I don't know if it's connected. Not my problem. I'm going to let the bread breaking commence. I remember growing up, my uncle Eddie James was a plumber. And, you know, he had his own business. And back in our time in my neighborhood, nobody had their own business. And there were seasons where his business where plumbing was up. Like in the winter, plumbing was a business that everybody needed. Sometimes when pipe was bursting, but sometimes during the summer, you know, the job slowed down. And so we had to just figure out how to get through the summer, doing a little odds and the electrician work during the same time. But I remember my Uncle Eddie James saying, my Uncle Eddie James always saying, a steady drip of water will break concrete. And tonight, in honor of my uncle, I want to call tonight steady drip. Steady drip. I want us to gain that mentality that even when things doesn't look ideal, when situations don't look perfect, when conditions are not to my standard, drip, baby, drip. Because I'm telling you, a steady drip of water will eventually break concrete. If you don't believe me, watch. Watch somewhere where there's like a corner of a house where there's a little drip come off every time it rains, or there's a little ledge and it's steady dropping. Eventually, that concrete will have to be redone because a steady drip of water will break concrete. Socrates said it like this: dripping water hollows out stone, not through force, but through persistence. Somebody holler at your boy. I know it's some persistent folk out there. Y'all get in that chat box. Shout yourself out. I am persistent. Drip, baby, drip. Get in that box. Drip, baby, drip. Because tonight, I'm coming to speak to that humanity, that piece that sometimes want all conditions, all signs to be at ready, set, go. But here we go in life. Signs aren't always going to be perfect. Situations aren't always going to be perfect. You're not going to always feel up to your best. But baby, you still got to drip. Drip, 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 because eventually you're going to wear out that concrete. Eventually, that steady drip will eventually wear out that concrete. I'm telling you right now, I'm easing into this thing. I'm trying to give people a chance to get their life in another situation. I'm slowing it up tonight because I want people to be able to hear and gain and understand. I love the fact that as you watch documentaries of people or biographies of people that come on TV, it's a real good example of drip, 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 drip. The other day, I was on the airplane and I watched King Richard. King Richard is the story about Venus and Serena's father. And they was telling Venus and Serena's story through his lens and the role that he played in preparing them to be ready for Wimbledon and to be ready to be tennis moguls. And they talked about how when Venus and Serena started, like his dad had a 120-page document from the time they were born to how they were going to become tennis proteges. When he did not have a blueprint to pattern because there were no African-American tennis pros at the time when he started grooming Venus and Serena. And they talked about how King Richard went to the broken courts of Compton, California, and how he used the cracks in the tennis court to teach them how to react swiftly and quickly to balls that may take a bounce that was unexpected. He used those same tennis courts in Compton where he had to sweep the leaves off the court where nobody had used the courts in Compton, where there was drug deals going on outside of the very courts that young Venus and Serena was working to become tennis proteges. Remember, at the time, King Richard, Naomi has an example to look to in Venus and Serena. Before Venus and Serena, there was no Venus and Serena. And he had a 120-page document on how to build them into tennis stars. And he got to the point where Venus and Serena had outgrown what he and his wife could do for them. I'm going to break bread tonight. Everybody wants to be great until it's time to do the work. Everybody wants to be great until the conditions aren't ideal. Everybody, Mike Tyson, has a plan until they get punched in the face. It got so bad, it got to the point where they were working so hard that his neighbor called the police or the child abuse people to say that he was mistreating those girls because they were out there practicing tennis in the rain. Yeah, everybody got a plan until they get hit in the mouth, until they get hit in the face. You better be ready to drip, baby, drip, because all systems won't be ready to go all the time. You better drip, baby, drip. And so DHR or DFAC came to the house and was asking them about their practices. He lined all his daughters up across the living room. He said, look, she got a 4.0 average. She got a 4.5. I'm raising these two tennis stars. Now, what my neighbor has is between her crack dealing daughter and what she got going on. But what we doing in this house, we're building excellence. And my question to us is, when it's raining outside, oh my God, when conditions don't look favorable to you, do you go in the house where it's all comfortable, or do you still drip, baby, drip? When you don't have an example in front of you, I need to see more people that look like me in order to do it, baby. You got to drip, baby, drip. When you don't see anybody that look like you, that you know got your dreams and got your goals, then will you still go ahead and say, I'll be the prototype, or do you wait, or do you sag back and try to do your best to fit in with the average people? Yeah, drip, baby, drip. Tonight we're talking about a study drip. And they wrote this documentary because we've heard Venus's story, we've heard Serena's story, but we needed to hear King Richard's 120-page document where he cold called. Oh my God, I'm gonna break bread tonight. I feel this with everything in me. What's up, Rod? Hey, Mom. I feel this with everything in me tonight. So he decided, him and his wife came to the conclusion that Venus and Serena had outgrown their grasp, and he did his research on his nighttime job. He trained them when they got home from school. He went to work at night, and his wife was a nurse during the day. So it was like they almost had shifts. And while he was at his night job, he did all his tennis research as a security guard. And he went and cold called 4 or 5 of the top tennis instructors in the world. My question is, do you believe so much in your goals and your dreams that say you decide to do something that sounds ridiculous to average men? You do something that sounds ludicrous to the normal ear, and say, I'm calling the top tennis coach. And he was able to pitch his daughters to one of the top tennis coaches in the nation by saying what his vision was for their life, not based on what they've done, but what the possibility of what they can do. Oh, I love the story of King Richard, because he had vision written all over his life. And when things didn't look favorable, he kept dripping. He kept working toward a desire in. He kept going. Dripping water hollows out a stone, not through force, but through persistence. My question to us is, how persistent are we as it relates to our goals and to our dreams? How persistent are we as it relates to my awaken I am? King Richard moved his family clean from Compton to Florida based on what a guy promised his daughters. Didn't have it up front, didn't have it in his hand. He moved based on a promise. Oh my God, it's just so much stuff in this one story that I literally can do a Motivational Monday from King Richard. Most of us don't have the faith in our goals and our dreams to change jobs, to change shifts. Most of us don't have the faith and belief in our goals and our dreams to change a behavior. He left Compton, California, and went clean across to Florida based on a promise. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. That word persistence is continuing to try, an effect that continues even after the cause has been removed, or something that sticks around for a long period of time. Let me say that one more time. Persistence is continuing to try. I want to make sure I get this just right. An effect that continues even after the cause has been removed, or something that sticks around for a long time. So, motivational teacher, persistence is when I've fallen so in love with the process that my primary goal is no longer my goal, but becoming and putting in the work now becomes my new goal to get there. I'm not worried about the houses and the cars. I'm worried about the work that's before me today. Persistent people own the work today. They own the belief today. They own the will and the why today. Man, that's a bread-breaking moment. I can't keep worrying about what's tomorrow. I got to own my day. I love the fact that Kevin Hart, they said, man, Kevin Hart, he was doing an interview. They said, Kevin, you came on the scene overnight. Kevin Hart looked around. He said, well, who came on? I'm a guy. He said, I'm a guy that did 19 years on this comedy circuit. I did 19 years on this comedy circuit with nobody knowing who I am. But because I'm a star today, they felt like it happened overnight. But I'm telling you, this is 19 years of work. It's 19 years of being persistent when nobody else was watching but me. When nobody was screaming my name, Kevin, Kevin, Kevin. Nobody was screaming my name when I was in these holes in the wall trying to perfect my craft. It was 19 years of drip, baby, drip. It was 19 years of me making $50 to $75 per speaking engagement. It was 19 years of me going into a place where people didn't understand my level of comedy yet because I was ahead of my time. Drip, baby, drip. 19 years of seed time. And some of us are not willing to go through one storm and see and believe enough in the great I am who awakens my I am in order for me to see the promise through. We're not willing to go through one season of lack or one season of doubt or one season of fear. We're not willing to anything that doesn't feel like it's pleasurable that emotion takes us off center of us accomplishing our goals and our dreams. Why, motivational teacher? Because we have to become persistent in our dripping. We have to become persistent that how I feel does not matter. I am going to do the work. I believe, so therefore I'm trembling, but I'm trusting. I gotta keep dripping. Even in days when I'm not 100%, I'm not making 100, I gotta give my 60. I gotta own my 60 today that I can give. It's not about one big cosmic big bang, boom, and now everything is. It's about 365 days of dripping. It's about 1 year of dripping. It's about dripping 24 hours a day. It's about dripping the next decade. It's not about one big colossal moment in your life. It's about all these small moments that create the big moment. And I think sometimes we lose sight or we lose vision of these small behaviors that create the big bang. And we'll never get to the big bang if the big bang is my only desire. I only get to the big bang after I have suffered a moment, after I have gone through a couple of revolutions around the sun, and I've had to struggle and I've had to strain. I've had some ups and I've had some downs, but all the same time, I kept the faith and I kept a moving. I kept a climbing. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair, but I've kept climbing. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. I just wanted, my vision of it was this way. Guess what? The great I am ain't concerned about your vision for it. He's concerned about the person that you need to become in order to have it. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. I got some people chiming into this conversation. Vanico said, hey Jackie, thanks for joining us. What's up, Devon? Thanks for joining us, bro. Vanico said, I kept failing my nurse's test and still kept claiming my future DON position. And look at me now, because of the faith, I passed the test and I'm on my way now. More than on your way, sis. You're more than on your way. I already see it. You already have that right now. I see your grind. I see your drip. Oh my God, you know these kids now always talking about the drip, right? I got my son, my 9-year-old. He had, we bought him a Jordan backpack. I know he probably listening to this. He gonna like this. We bought him a Jordan backpack to wear to take to school. So yesterday he went to a birthday party. He had on his Jordan shoes. He had on little Jordan shorts. He had on a Jordan shirt. And then he put his book back on. I said, dude, why you have your book bag on a Sunday? He said, it's drip, Dad. He said, it's drip, Dad. I want to ask you, what's your drip like? How's your drip? Are you carrying your drip with you through the good times and through the bad? Hey, Barbara, thanks for joining us. Are you dripping when it doesn't look favorable? How's your drip? Are you persistent in your drip? Yeah, a steady drip. We're talking about it tonight. I know, Vaniqua. Persistent people have a goal or a vision in mind that motivates and drives them. They're often dreamers, visionaries who see their lives having a higher purpose they don't simply create an earning for a living. That's strong. Their vision is deeply ingrained, and the focus on it consistently with great emotion and with great energy. Persistent people got a goal. They got something. They got a bigger picture in mind. They're not stuck on yesterday. They're not stuck in the past. They're not stuck in the future either. They're all about what can I do today to move it further? What small behaviors can I do today that's going to get me closer to what my goals and my dreams is? And that's why you always have to be careful about your energy, because your energy attracts what's to come. See, big dreamers, persistent people, they have great emotion and they have great energy. Because I know today is not really about today. It's external stimuli that is trying to guide my tomorrow. That's a bread breaking moment. Today is, let me break bread. It's some people living from day to day. I'm telling you, today is never about today. Today is always about your tomorrow. And if you lose sight of your today, worried about what happened yesterday, you lose 2 days to your tomorrow. And your tomorrow looks just like 3 days ago because you're stuck in that same cycle. Your energy and your emotion keeps creating the same experience and nothing changes. And we're worried and we're steadily dripping. Oh yeah, good point. Thank you. A steady drip works in both directions. Steady drips work both positive and negative. If my steady drip is negative, I will continue to create the same emotion and have the same experiences. Boy, that's a bread breaking moment. In our life, we're steadily dripping something. We're persistent in something in our lives, and that drive our result. If my persistent thinking is, I don't feel like I need to be loved, I'm not worthy of a spouse, I'm not worthy of somebody, great relationships in my life, I'm not worthy of $100,000, I'm not worthy of $1 million. Every time I keep working, I steadily drip in my mind about how I'm not worthy, how I'm not capable, how I'm not good enough, how I'm too black, too skinny, too tall, too short, and all of that is dripping, and it's creating a new reality for your life. It's creating a new future state. So if you're an autopilot, guess what? You're still dripping. You still have a steady drip of water that can break concrete. And what's so discouraging about a negative drip is that it requires a negative drip to break what God has already put on your life. He's called you more than a conqueror. He's called you the head and not the tail. He said, everywhere your feet shall trod, you shall own. But it takes a steady drip to not have that vision of who he said you was to come to pass in your life. You got to be dripping very mighty hard and very often in order to tear down. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, but your life don't look like it because you started dripping everything opposite of what was said about you. And believe you me, we will eat the benefits and live the life of our drips. That's a bread breaking moment right there. That is a bread breaking moment. But Nico said, like you say, when you make it there, will still be people trying to take you down. You better say it, but you got to stay firm and on your calling block. The negativity even is on the job. Keep pushing toward your goals and your dreams. My mom said you must have a mindset change with a positive mind. Call those things that be not as if they are or were. Call those things that be not as if they are. It's a steady drip. And that's why, man, I sit back and I look at a lot of people. And I sit back and I look, and I have a lot of people that I coach. I have a lot of people that I mentor. And the common thread behind a lot of their problems is that thought process and that pattern of negative thinking. It is that one experience that happened that their emotions cannot shake. And their life becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of the same steady drip in their life. And they cannot get any different results because that same drip, 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 drip of negative energy and negative emotion continues to pile. And if you continue to add a drip campaign, eventually you run into the law of accumulation. The law of accumulation says a small thing accumulated over time can become a big thing. Break bread, motivational teacher. A small thing accumulated over time can become a big thing. You want to know how you become a millionaire? Save $100 at a time. You want to know how you become a $10,000 heir? Keep saving $10 at a time. If I guarantee you with compound interest and you being disciplined and consistent enough, persistent enough to save $10 a week for the next 10 years will eventually get you to your money goal, but it requires that a small thing accumulated over time can become a big thing. That's why one of my favorite books said, don't despise the days of small beginnings. Don't despise them. Oh, I'm working so hard. I'm just not getting along, baby. You can't see this as a one big long term. You got to see it as a steady drip. Oh man, I've been doing it for so long. Drip, baby, drip. See, I told you earlier that persistence is continuing to do the same behavior when the cause has been removed. I'm no longer, when I started being a motivational speaker, my goal was I wanted to speak to people across the globe. My goal hasn't changed, that I still want to do it, but how I show up is not measured by how many eyes I see. I'm learning to drip, baby, drip, without having to believe that 1,000 eyes got to be on here for me to maximize what the great I am has already given me. I'm dripping right now, baby. And like Christian said, it's my drip, Dad. Y'all seeing me drip right now. See, some of us are waiting until we got ideal conditions in order to drip a little bit. But I'm saying in order to drip a little bit, in order to have the ideal conditions, you got to learn how to drip right now. That's a bread breaking moment. See, you're waiting to try to stunt later in life. You're waiting until you get the business. You're waiting until you start the nonprofit. I'm telling you now, start the behaviors that your nonprofit, so let me say it this way, start solving the problem that your nonprofit will address, and you'll see that you keep doing these small behaviors over time. Drip, drip, drip. Eventually, your nonprofit will find you. You keep building the behaviors of a director of nursing. You don't have to go submit, raise your hand. Who can I have that job? Your director of nursing jobs will find you. Drip, baby, drip. You better get on a drip campaign. See, most of us want it on the outside without creating it on the inside. Most of us, and I'm telling you, God has a big sense of humor. Let me check my other chat. God has a sense of humor. If you haven't noticed, the great I am is always seeking to awaken your I am. Man, I'm telling you all right now, like I know it. You know, I got a corporate job. I got my nonprofit. I have my Williams Inspires, my LLC. I'm gonna tell you something. In my corporate job, I saw myself doing a role and a level up here. I saw myself doing it, and I wanted to do it. And I couldn't wait to do it. But I thought I had a title, a director title would come with it. I thought it would be bigger bonuses. I thought it would be, higher incentives that comes along with it. God has a sense of humor. I'm telling you, your dreams will be tested. So what he did was, you wanted this responsibility up here, so he gave me the responsibility up here without the perks that I thought I should have. And he was saying, boy, let me see how bad you want it. And right now, I am currently in the process of dripping, baby, dripping 10X in that whole role, without the money, without the title, but with all the responsibility. No, I ain't complaining about it. Well, I just wish they'll pay me at this level. No, baby. I ain't complaining one bit. Thank you, Lord, for trusting me with this level of responsibility, because I realize that if I drip long enough, the rest of the things will find me. See, humans tell you, I'm doing this kind of work. They ain't giving me that kind of money. I got these many things going on, and I ain't got the title. I'm doing the same thing that person doing, and they 2 titles ahead of me. And no, baby, the motivational teacher sitting back licking his chops, because I know what's to come, because right now I'm being tested to see how's your drip. Do you want it just for the position? Do you want it just for the prestige? Do you want it just for the money? Or do you want it because it's making you more valuable? Do you want it because I'm building you from the inside out, motivational teacher? Do you want it because I've invested something good on the inside of you? And buddy, you can't get it all out until I've seen your drip. I want to see you do the job before you get the benefits. And see, that's the problem with a lot of marriages right now. They're not waiting to see the process through before they go hopping in. Everybody want a perfect marriage, but you don't want to drip a little bit. You don't want to drip a little bit. See, I'm telling you, anything in your life worth having will be tested. God has a great sense of humor when it comes to your development. David, come here, boy. David, I'm going to make you king. I'm going to make you king at 13, but you cannot get the crown until you're 30. I've already made you king. You got to go through the rest of the next 17 years knowing what I've already said about you, but now you got to build the behaviors to get there. I'm telling you right now, you're already the DON. You're already have your nonprofit. You already started your restaurant. You're already a millionaire. It's just now the fact is, how's your drip? I told you, persistent is the behavior lasts long after the cause has been, come on, Rocket. Long after the cause has been removed, I'm consistent, I'm persistent with the body of work that's required for me to maximize my I am. Man, I feel like running out this room. I literally feel like running out this room because I'm starting to understand how the great I am awakens your I am. See, carnal people, I'm going to talk about this, and I'm not talking about carnality from the place of, people, Bible church people here, they think sins and I've done wrong and my mistakes and all that. When I mention carnal people, I mean people that live out of their humanity and not from their deity. They don't even know that there's a part of them that lives above the influence. They don't even know that there's a part of them that supersedes what I do on this earth. That's far much. There's more working for me than working against me. That's a bread-breaking moment. And when I talk about carnal people, I mean those people that walk out in the natural, not knowing that they have supernatural on the inside of them. I'm not talking about a behavioral thing. I'm talking about somebody that believes so much so in their vision of their goals and their dreams that they're willing to fight when they don't see the outcome. I'm willing to, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm willing to give more than I can receive at this moment. I'm willing to do the work of two positions above me because I know this is working for my good. I know I'm being developed for a much greater purpose. I don't know what the end gonna bring. Oh my God, that's a bread break. I'm not concerned with what the end gonna bring because I know if I develop my drip campaign right now, I'll end up right where I want to be. My God, that's a different way of thinking. That's a different way of living right now because most people make decisions based on what they see, based on what I ain't getting what I want. I'm walking off. I quit. And the great I am is saying I'm building you for a much greater cause and a much greater person, great purpose. I don't care if you're in the pitfalls, you're in the pits. I don't care if you're in the palace. I'm working on you. It's up to us to have that attitude of gratitude and to have that steady drip campaign that says, I don't care. Man, this is a whole nother level of living right now. I'm telling you right now, it's a whole nother level of living that I'm going to put in the work. Come on, Rocky. I'm going to put in the work no matter what it looks like. I don't care if my body is reeking with pain. I'm going to say I'm the healed of God maintaining my health. I don't care if I got a negative report. I'm going to change it and I'm going to say he's still my healer. I don't care if I ain't got 15 cents in the bank. I am rich. Like the poor say I'm rich. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It's my drip campaign that determines my ultimate result, my results. Come on, man. It's my drip. The young folks got it right. It's my drip. It's what I do every day. It's the small behaviors. It's the small decisions that I do every day that's going to lead to a big thing. I told you, it's the law of accumulation. The law of accumulation says a small thing accumulated over time can become big. Oh my God, I'm going to let that marinate. I am going to let that marinate. A small thing accumulated over time can become a big thing. That's a bread-breaking moment. Now that comment I just made is double-sided. Y'all heard that word before. It's double-sided in the way that if a small thing is positive, it can produce a positive big thing over time. If that small thing is negative, it can produce a negative big thing over time. We gotta, man, acknowledge our drips. How motivational teacher. Hey, what's up, John? Thanks for joining us. I remember during COVID, I was doing a lot of reading. I was doing a lot of YouTube. I remember TD Jakes, and this had to be a year or two ago, and I don't even know how I still remember it. He did this message called Masters of the Mundane. And I love the fact that accumulation of a lot of monotonous behaviors, a lot of monotonous tasks done over time builds great success. My son played in an all-star, AJ, my oldest played in an all-star game this weekend. And y'all know, normally I don't get on here and brag about my kids or talk about what they have going on. But I did want to share this with you because most of you all have seen the videos on my page where my kids and I are in the gym. We're working 6 a.m., three days a week. He's in the gym. He's working. And this weekend, he had an all-star game that came up. And this whole week prior to this, he said, I'm going to get my sleep. I'm not drinking any sodas. I'm going to drink nothing but water. And I'm going to be ready when Saturday comes. And he did. And he held true to all of his beliefs of what he said he was going to do this week. And we were on our way to the game. I said, son, I want you to know, I don't, whether you score 0 points, whether you score 40 points, I'm proud of you, of your grind to get to this point. You're not some kid that played on 15 national AAU teams. A lot of people, I'm proud of how you got to this point by your work ethic and your grind. I said, just the simple fact you one of the top 60 in the Southeast says a lot about your grind. I said, I'm proud of you, whether you score in this game 0 or whether you score 40. My level of proudness for you will not change. We are in the number. We know where we stack against the competition. He said, thank you, Dad. I love that. He said, forget that, but I'm going for 40. And I said, you put the work in, go get your reward. So we went out there Saturday, not necessarily knowing how things were going to go. He was, he had the rock, paper, scissors to get in the 3-point contest and won the 3-point contest for the whole camp with the top 60 elite. And you say, motivational teacher, he just popped, like everybody wanted to have his name, where everybody want to know, everybody want to see where he playing, who trains him, this, that, and the other. And it looks like he just kind of just hopped on the scene all in one day, but it's not him hopping on the scene in one day. It's been 12 years of work, grind after grind after grind. When people didn't respect you, when people didn't know you, you still had to go. You had to continue to do the work. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. I'm telling you right now, your steps have already been ordered. We got to learn how to become masters of the mundane, an accumulation of a lot of monotonous behaviors. It's how you get to your desired end. If we're not improving our behaviors, and if everything that we do has to be anchored on some desired outcome, then if that desired outcome is the primary reason why you're doing it, then when you don't see that outcome, sometimes our faith wavers and we quit the grind because I don't see what I thought I should see. And if I'm gonna say this, and I know this is gonna go against a lot of motivational speakers and a lot of motivational teachers. This is gonna go against a lot of faith people. I'm gonna say this. If you're so laser-eyed focused on the final result that you skip steps in the process because you're not wired, because I'm so engulfed in this desire. I'm gonna use me for example. I'm so narrowly focused on the masses. Motivational teacher to the masses. That's me. I'm so focused on the masses that I'm just so wide-eyed and so bushy-tailed. I'm so straight-lined that I can't stop and appreciate Rocky Miller. I can't stop and appreciate Vaniqua and John and Q for joining me on this Motivational Monday. If I'm so laser-eyed focused that I can't see my Aunt Jackie and Vaniqua for joining me, and the other Jackie for joining me this afternoon, if I'm so laser-eyed focused, I miss the value in today, because I got such a 30-year vision for my life that today I don't have to be accountable, because I got 29 more years to be accountable. It's a bread-breaking moment. But when I have a steady drip, I stay focused on my behaviors of today, because I'm looking at accumulation. I'm looking at the stacking of behaviors. We play a lot of Uno around here. And then around here, I love to play stacking, because stacking is an expedited way to get you from A to B. But in order to get there, I got to be strategic about my decisions and my behaviors today. So the more I do them, the more they stack and the more proficient I become at what I do. You should be aiming at some point to be the top 20% in the world at whatever problem you have been sent to solve. Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh my God, that's awesome. That came from deep down on the inside. That came from deep down on the inside. You should be really honing your gifts and your skills to be the top 20% in some area of your life. Motivational teacher, I'm not focused on that. How do you know when you're becoming a better version of you? How do you know when your behaviors are stacking in order for you to become the best version of yourself? Everybody, it's me versus me, but I need a measuring stick to even know if I'm growing. When I was growing up, we used to go in the little room by the closet and we'll mark the heights as we were going. We do the same thing for Christian and AJ as they grow. We mark little heights and we put the date there. And now we got AJ and Christian both coming up in the same house. And now we go back and put Christian height there and we see where AJ was at the same time. Why? Because we're measuring growth. We're measuring growth. It's you versus you, but you have to have a way to measure. What's your life? I talked about it last week. What's your life goal? How are you measuring growth? The biggest mistake that people make is they think they think that what they want to count only counts. Let me say that again. The biggest mistake that people make is they think the only thing that counts is what they want to count. Let me tell you something. When you're not doing the behavior every day, it's counting against you. I'm telling you, every day you have to be deliberate and intentional about putting the work in. I want to lose 20 pounds, motivational teacher. So you go to the gym on tomorrow for 9 hours and the scale doesn't move. But I guarantee you, if you go to the gym for the next 45, 90 days for 20 minutes a day, and you break your 9 hours up that way, I guarantee you will lose weight. Why? Because it's small incremental behaviors over time. A steady crack will break concrete. Socrates said it, dripping water hollows out a stone, not through force, but through persistence. I'm telling you, every behavior, every decision that you make count. Oh my God, that's so bread breaking. That's so bread breaking. I can't say that I can't get to my goals and my dreams because of some limitation that I've given myself, or because of the story that I tell myself. I can't say that there's external forces that are in front of me keeping me from my goals and my dreams. There are no external forces keeping you from your goal. Believe me, you're more than a conqueror. No external force can keep you from reaching your goals and dreams. The only person that can keep you from reaching your goals and your dreams is your own personal steady drip. And nobody wants to hear this kind of information because it's confrontational and it's up in your face. But in order for you to get the good type of goals and dreams that you want, you have to be honest and upfront with what you want to do with your own life and how you're going to get there. And what does it require daily in order to get a motivational teacher? I want to own a daycare where I can have 50 kids and I want one in every major city. How's your drip? Or are those words just empty as clanging cymbals? How's your drip? Incremental improvement is a way to slow things down into small, one step at a time in order to actually speed up progress toward an intentional goal. It's incremental improvement. If you're not taking an inventory of your life and your behaviors month over month, quarter over quarter, then your growth is already very minuscule. Your growth is going to be slow, and most people quit because they don't get it as fast as they think they should, because they're not measuring their growth of what they become in the process. They're measuring their growth versus a desired outcome. It's a bread breaking. I want to be a millionaire. I've been doing this job, this thing for the last 15 years. And right now, the most I got saved is $50,000. It's not about the $50,000. It's not about what you have in your bank account. It's about what have I become throughout that process that's able to attract or attain, or what emotion can I elicit to help me attract $1 million. I got to tell you, my boy David was king before he was king. I got to tell you, Tyler Perry was a billionaire before he was a billionaire. I got to tell you, King Richard knew Venus and Serena were going to be star tennis players when they were born. Why? It was the study drip campaign. I'm telling you what I know. I look back over my life and I begin to think things over, and I say, God, I thank you. I'm not where I want to be, but I thank you that I ain't where I used to be. And I can see the incremental processes or improvements in my life. When I would have snapped on somebody earlier, I don't. When I would have told you how I feel, I don't tell you how I feel, because now this thing is bigger than me, and it's bigger than you. Like, you can't ruffle my feathers because I don't give you that power over my life. I don't look at my bank account and say, this is who I am, or this is what I am, because now I don't wrestle against what I see. I'm building behaviors that's going to make my bank account attract what I become. My marriage, I can't look at what it is right now. I got to look at what behaviors is going to build it into what I want it to become. I can't look at my kids right now and say, oh, they ain't what I thought they were going to be. I got to look at my behaviors as a motivational teacher. What behaviors are you teaching along the way that put them where you think they should be? Oh my God, this is so awesome. Persistence is, can I continue even after the cause has been removed? I love it this way. My boy Rudyard Kipling says it this way. Can you meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same? Can you make one pitcher toss and lose everything you have and stoop back down and build it with worn out tools? That's the kind of stuff that winning is made of. I don't know where we get this fake life that we're living and things are just supposed to happen because I'm here. I gotta tell you, nothing just happens. Your life is a set of circumstances or a set of decisions that you've made by God's providence that's landed you to this place where you are. And if you want to change it, you are made in his image and his likeness. Oh, my life. They say motivational teacher. All you do is you go, you do your business, you do your speaking, you go do basketball, and you at home. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that you don't hang out, you're not over here. We used to talk this much. I can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. I got to invest. It's seed time, and that's harvest time. In my season of my life, it's seed time. I have to invest. Hey, I'm 43 right now. The 63-year-old version of me is dependent on the 43-year-old version of me to make the right investments. So the 63-year-old version of me can reap some of the harvest. It's seed time for me. I wish I could be out. I wish I could go out with my frat brothers every Friday night. I wish I can go back to every homecoming back at Vanderbilt. I wish I could go to every football game. But right now it's not this. There will be a time where I can do all those different things. But right now it's not this season in my life. You got to know right now, it's small, incremental improvements that slow things down. The reason why it seems like it's too big for you right now is because we haven't learned how to slow the process down. The process is slowing down by taking a piece of it. All I need, how do I eat an elephant? One piece at a time. I got to take a piece of it. And I got to become masters of the mundane with that piece. I can't skip steps. I know I want to be the DON, but it's better for me if I go RN first. It's better for me that after I go RN, I go shift leader. Or I'm a shift leader of my floor. It's better for me now that I'm after a shift leader that I need to lead my floor. After my floor, I might need to lead my unit. I need to do all these things before I become a director, because what I become in each one of these different segments determines what kind of director of nursing am I going to be. Am I going to be a director of nursing in title only and can't perform the job to a high level and can't build the people around me? Or am I going to be the kind that once they give it to me, I almost run it like I'm the CEO of the hospital? How do I know the difference? Because it's about what you become in each one of these incremental steps. See, too many people are looking to skip steps. I'm telling you, when you skip steps, you hinder your progress. I'm gonna say this. It took Jesus 30 years to get ready for a 3-year mission. Even if you think about your own life, what's your preparation phase look like? How long is it taking you to prepare? See, some of us are 40 and 50, and we're still in the, man, you ought to shout about this. Well, you ain't the best of my life, haven't been seen yet, because I'm still prepping right now, baby. I see my aunt on here. I know my aunt is still prepping right now. The best is yet to come. He ain't done with me yet. The impact of my life has yet to be seen, because I'm still right now, he's still preparing me. And see, people love the skip stage. The best part about your life is that he sees value in you to prepare you for the journey. I want to take you on the backside of Midian. I want to take you to Morgan Stanley. I want you to see a positive relationship between a man and a son before you become a dad. I want to prep you for, oh my God, I can run out of this room. I want to prep you for where you are about to go. I know it's taking you some time, but you're my chosen one. When you get there, trust me on this. When you get there, everybody and their mama gonna know you should have been there 10 years ago. I had a mentor tell me this about 2 weeks ago. He said, man, I see it already. You one of those guys that when you get promoted, people be like, man, I thought he was already that. I said, man, I sat back and I smiled. I said, man, I'm thinking to myself, it's because the great I am awakens my I am. I ain't worried about the dollars and the cents. I ain't worried about the title. I'm worried about, I know that I'm being prepped. As long as I'm being prepped, I'm being prepared. And when he makes preparation, there's a declaration. I'm breaking bread right now. There's been a declaration over my life that I'm sent to solve some problem. You should, man, I'm telling you, you should be happy that you're in the prepping phase. Oh my God. It's some folk that die at 25 and get buried at 65. They stop living at 25. They start pursuing purpose and they start pursuing their life, and they're just waiting to be put back in that pine box and go back from the dirt from which they come. They spent 40 years of their life waiting on to go down in a box. But because you're still prepping, you got more life. And as long as you got more life, you got more time on this earth. You can go back to Hezekiah and ask him for 15 more years and he'll grant it. Why? Because you still got life. Man, they can throw your bones down there on the valley of dry bones and you'll see the bones get back up, because I still got life in these bones, baby. Don't count me out. There's still breath in my body. I'm working on something. Boy, until we find what we're passionate about. until we find why I'm being prepped. Man, I done talk myself happy tonight. I'm being prepped, baby. Yes, I'm going to drip because I realize that my prepping is in my drip. Drip, baby, drip. Continue to do the work even when the cause has been removed. Oh my God, that's a strong word. When you don't think you see the desired end, keep prepping, keep doing the work, keep the steady drip. I mean, man, I done went so far off my notes. Let me get back. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. That's book. That is book. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. You want to increase it? Let me tell you how you increase it. You don't increase it by winning the lottery because 70% of them are broke within 5 years. Sometimes you don't even increase it by signing that NBA or that NFL contract, because sometimes they get it so quick without having the right mindset, done all the right things to prep their body for the journey, but done nothing to prepare their mind for the wealth and the results. So sometimes even that kind of wealth gain hastily will dwindle. But I guarantee you, the person that has a process, the reason why it gathers little by little and increases because of what you're becoming in the process, increases and increases and increases. And so guess what? As long as you're increasing, I said it the other day. I told you the other day, your values determine your value. The more values and you gain, the more profitable you become mentally on the inside. All these other things will find you on the outside. Man, I'm telling you what I know. Because you're still being prepped, there's something that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard that's been given to you. I'm telling you, don't ever get tired of doing the work. Do the work when you don't see the results. Do the work when the conditions are not favorable. Do the work when King Richard, when you got to sweep the leaves off the court. Do the work. And I'm telling you, all of that is preparing you for that desired end. I love it. Do the work when the cause has disappeared. Do the work. I want you to do the work, baby. I'm telling you like I know. And this weekend gives me more confidence to believe that if we continue to become masters of the mundane, to do the monotonous, when other people are not willing to do it, build, baby, build. I'm changing it for tonight. Drip, baby, drip. And eventually, you will break that concrete. Man, y'all have been phenomenal tonight in this conversation. Please share this with 4 or 5 of your friends. I'm telling you right now, I'm going back to listen to this 4 or 5 times myself. I know Vanika was going to do the same thing. She always tags me in #2, #3, #4. And I'm telling you what I know. The more and more you fall in love with the process, it's no longer work to get your desired outcome. Love what you do, baby. Love what you do. Love what, if you've got nothing else from, love what you do. Oh my God, love what you do. And it'll never become work. Man, I can't tell you, I'm in a zone. I'm so happy with the work right now. I ain't seen the results that I think I ought to have, but I'm falling in love with doing the work. I've fallen in love with doing, if nothing else, fall in love with doing the work, and you will never work a day in your life. That might be my next Motivational Monday. Fall in love with the work. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, and I'm challenging you all to continue to wage war on mediocrity. I want to thank y'all for your comments today, for chiming into this conversation. And again, go back, listen to it 4 or 5 times, #1, #2. Tag your boy back in it yourself. Put your cousin, your auntie, your mama, your grandmama, and them. Tag them in this video so they can get this bread breaking moment. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me.